Good evening and welcome, free enterprise fans, to another run of the Fabul Gauntlet. My name is Dathlis. I'm going to be your restreamer tonight, and we have a fantastic team of Smapety and Fries123, who I'm just going to chuck it right on over to.
Good evening, everybody. Good to see you. Happy to be back for another commentary round here for the Fabul Gauntlet. We've got two undefeated racers here this evening. Only one of them is going to be undefeated at the end of this here. With me today, with their debut in the commentary booth, is Fries123. How you doing tonight, Fries?
I'm doing good, Smape D. How are you tonight?
Doing fantastic. Old man start tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting who the other character is going to be and see where they head to right out of the gate.
Yeah, seeing Tella that early can sometimes be a little bit disappointing. You really like to get a power character to sort of blow through this early game, but the more I play, the more I tend to really like that early game Tella. He's got two very, very important things that make the beginning of the game a lot less of a pain. He's got that blink spell, which can really help mitigate a lot of the physical-oriented bosses in the game. And he's also got that exit spell, which lets you go a little bit deeper into some of the dungeons, grab some treasures you might ordinarily skip just because they're a little out of the way.
Right, that exit's a big bonus right off the bat. It's going to save a lot of time.
Yeah, and if they manage to find themselves a power staff, you can do a little bit of damage.
Yep, and it makes Ordeals a smart play at some point, hopefully, depending on any of the characters they find early on.
Yeah, of course, one of those benefits for Ordeals is getting that full spell list for Tella, which has some nice things on it, like Weak, which can be useful for a lot of grinds, especially that D-Machine grind, which has been very popular so far in the Fabul Gauntlet.
Yep, a lot of seeds I've seen. The D-Machine grind is really one of the only grinds that's available that's relatively simple once you get the technique down.
Right, indeed. I think we should be starting here very shortly. Just a reminder, the runners are on a 15-minute delay, so we're just waiting for them to get synced up. Once they do, we'll be away, and we'll see what our objectives are for this evening.
All right, it looks like we're off. All right, looks like we're starting out with a Kane to join that Tella this evening. Oh, and the pass right off the bat.
So very interesting. Not any immediate progression, but that's going to factor into some routing decisions. A lot of people like to put the moon off to the very end, so as soon as they get that crystal, they're right there on the moon. They can go right to the Zeromus fight. With the pass in hand, you can go to Zeromus whenever you want. Might change how they approach the moon and when they decide to actually make the plunge there.
Right, yeah, it just opens up the end game, did the routing, see which way they want to go.
And now the big reveal here are objectives. Try a treasury with the Earth Crystal. Boss of the Waterfall, get Cecil, liberate Baron Castle, and complete the antlion nest.
All right, well, it looks like lordbobbree is going right into the Baron Inn, going to check out that character.
Yeah, definitely some very, very easy to knock out objectives here early. Antlion is one of the earlier checks, and there's Cecil. Wow. So right from the get-go, we have 3 objectives we can get out of the way right from the beginning. That's
actually no, I think that's an Edward. Actually, that's a Dark Knight. Cecil is the first boss there, though.
Oh, excuse me, my mistake. You're right. I got the characters backwards. I was so excited to see that Cecil.
I was too at first.
So maybe not as jetty as we thought it was, but yeah, we have been seeing that recruit Cecil objective appear a lot in these Fabul seeds.
Yeah, and it's a wonder, like, when do you want to go get him if you find him early? And then if with him as an objective, it puts Ordeals even more into play.
Dancing Dagger early is always nice to see. When you've got Kane in the party, he can grab that. You can do some early game damage if you fail to find a really good weapon for Kane early. Also have some vampires for sale there in Baron, which can do some substantial damage these early game fights. So shouldn't be a terribly difficult opening overworld here.
Right, it looks like Poidrac's gonna do some more shopping as he heads down to Agart.
Yeah, lordbobbree doing some shopping as well, also checking out who's available in Kaipo. Strong play, because we know that they're still looking for that Cecil. It's just Yang, though.
Yeah, and Poidrac looks like he's setting up for a possible D machine grind. He picked up a whole bunch of life potions while he was in the item shop in Agart, and he's moving on now. Looks like to Miss.
Yeah, lives are dirt cheap, so always good to pick up a ton of stacks of those. They have so much value, not just in bringing up dead characters, but in also in as essentially XP potions. When you're doing any sort of high XP value enemy, throw a life on it, comes back to life and immediately dies again. You get double the experience. And it looks like here's our first check of the Waterfall Cave. Oh, nope, I'm sorry. Juked us, went into Damsian instead.
Whereas Poidrac looks like he's going to check out Hob, see who's waiting for him on the top of the mountain.
Yeah, don't blame him there. Getting another character into this party to help deal some damage and spread out some of the incoming damage is very, very solid play here. Yeah, and good thing that the Poison Axe got sold there. Or did it get sold? And it's something Kain can use, but with the Dancing Daggers, early on, that's a little bit more consistent damage for Kain, I would say.
Yep, and it looks like Rydia's on top of the mountain being guarded by Pale Dim.
Yeah, not a character you specifically want to see this early in the game. When you're looking for character power, unless you can get your hands on some needy summons, they will be able to go directly over to West Hobbs as soon as they're finished here with Rydia and take a look and see what free summon spell is available. Some nice stuff available there, like the Sylph spell, the Titan spell can really help in this early game portion.
Yep, it looks like the Poidrac's past Pale Dim, and let's see where he's going to head off to next.
A little surprised he didn't go. Oh, no, going back in. No.
Yeah, he's being indecisive about it. Maybe he's going to come at it from the other side after he gets that random summon spell.
That's a very, very good point. That could be what he's thinking there. Looked like he thought a couple of times about what to do exactly.
And Lord And he just noped out of it without seeing who it was. It was a purple robe, so I'm thinking it could be a Mylon or a Mylon Z.
Yeah, it's looking at those objectives, maybe double checking to see if, and it's going to go right back in and take on that fight. So, looks like that's Jin on Hobbs, or Ifrit, as people are probably more traditionally familiar with him. So that's some decent mid-range damage. The most important thing is that it is a all-target spell. So in certain AoE required fights can be very useful.
Yep, and it looks like it is a regular Mylon at the Waterfall Cave.
Yeah, this might be a little bit of a slog here. This spot has a good number of HP, and lordbobbree doesn't exactly have a ton of damage in his party right now. So this fight may go on a little bit more than maybe he wants to see.
Yeah.
I kind of like Poidrac's play here in the Antlion Cave a little bit more right now. Get a lot of loot here. You only have 1,000 HP on the boss. It's also required. You get a key item. Maybe put off the Waterfall Cave for a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's probably the play I would make right there. Meanwhile, it looks like lordbobbree he's just taking the slow roll through the Waterfall Cave, using those vampires on Mylon to try to bring down that HP.
Yeah, using them to really good effect. You want to be careful with drain spells against the undead, but the first version of Mylon actually isn't undead, so you can use them without much fear. Down he goes, a lot faster than I think was anticipating. So yeah, this is one objective out of the way for lordbobbree. And Lady Mithril with a raid, thank you very much. Welcome to our Fabul Gauntlet match tonight.
Oh, and those gas they just beat up lordbobbree there. He's either gonna try it again, or looks like he's gonna try it one more time.
Yeah, that's one of the dangers you run into taking out Mylon before the gas is they stop doing that drain spell and start punching. And if you're in a spot that has a high physical attack value, they can hit shockingly hard. So want to make sure you get the adds down before you take out the main boss. There's Mom Bomb at the Antlion. Kind of a frustrating fight because of the extra HP added on to fight early. So almost certainly going to have to deal with the explosion and the children. But shouldn't be terribly difficult.
Shouldn't be. It looks like Mom Bomb's already grown. Blink already up on Rydia. Make sure she can hopefully survive the explosion.
And just a piddly amount of explosion damage. But yeah, you, immediately getting the 6 attacks from the children bombs here. That Blink on Rydia is going to help her survive that. Really good play here. Wanting to get these early levels on Rydia is going to get her MP pool up substantially. It's going to mean more casts of that Ifrit spell and just generally more effective Rydia going on into the early and mid game.
Right, yep, it looks like Lord Bobbree, he's working on the ghasts first this time.
Yeah, smart adjustment here. This is going to make sure that once Mylon's down, the fight is just over. Won't have to deal with those punching zombies, and should be a much, much cleaner kill here than last time. And Tella's showing off there that despite what common logic might tell you, the bombs don't actually absorb fire.
All right, and there's the hook.
Oh, do we have a hook seed on our hands? It's possible. There's still a lot of overworld checks here to make. We still got Mount Ordeals. We still have the Baron Inn. We still have the Fabul defense, and any side quests we might get unlocked through key items there. But that early hook, our runners have got to be thinking for the long haul here for the hook seed. And now all of a sudden that Sylph spell that I believe was available in one of the shops is looking very, very attractive for Rydia, because that might be your best source of healing going into the hook route.
Right, also if you go take the hook down to Cave Eblon, you get the character check down there as well.
Yeah, that could be crucial, not just because we need to recruit Cecil as an objective, but because that could be a great recruit just to get through the hook route, which can be particularly nasty depending on what bosses get routed there. Always sends a shudder down runners' spines when they realize they have to take the hook to get into the underground.
Right, and as Project Dia points out in the chat, having Tella in that exit spell makes you want to actually probably dive for that character just to see who it is and whether or not somebody you want.
Yeah, it's going to be a factor of like how confident you are with your character power right now. Kane's really starting to come online as far as damage goes. You've got these vampire spells that Tella can use. You've got the Ifrit on Rydia. So you're sort of coming along in strength. You might be able to get through most of the overworlds without having to make that dip. But yeah, if you're lacking confidence in the damage output of your team, that dip is certainly available and is by no means an invalid play.
Right, and Poidrac, I think he's doing the Fabul Gauntlet right now, which is an antlion. Well, it was an antlion.
Yeah, now that he's got it in the hook, there's no point in not doing everything on the overworld just to make sure there's no magma key hiding here somewhere. There's a little, when you're trying to play the long game in these Fabul Gauntlet seeds, there is some one school of thought that says to put off Fabul as long as possible to try to not have to double or triple dip there. That's a Darkness Crystal. That's another character, so that opens things up a lot.
Right, so the question is now do you just go get the Lunar Whale and do that character check on the moon now, or hold off for just a few more minutes?
Yeah, that's a spicy question there. I would maybe hold off on doing an Eblin Cave check just so that I can grab the character and move on through and maybe save some time that way. But dipping up to the moon for a free character there and a check in the shop in the Hummingway abode, that's really attractive in this position.
All right, looks like Poidrac's decided to go to the mall real quick, buy that Ogre Axe.
Yeah, that'll be a large damage increase for Kane. It's keeping Kane in that middle slot there, which gets an accuracy bonus, which is the big drawback of axes, is their low accuracy, which means fewer of the flurry of hits every time you do an attack are going to hit. It's going to lower your damage overall. It's why axes, despite having massive listed damage, may not seem to do the damage you think they should. But keeping Kane in that middle slot is a good way to get a little more damage eked out of your axes there if you're forced to use them. Kane, generally speaking, his equipment selection is lacking in accuracy compared to somebody's like Cecil, so he really likes the middle slot.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to agree with Project D in the chat. Check out the Eblon Cave, do Ordeals, go to the moon, and then you're set up for a D machine grind right there.
Exactly. Yeah, that is a very, very good point. You'll have that Tele with Weak. We've been talking about that. Early D Machine grind can be really strong, especially if any of those characters you find in those spots are mages, because you can get access to those high tier spells very early. There's nothing like cruising through the game with a nuke equipped Palom at about 30 minutes in after a D Machine grind. It's going to make the rest of the checks in the game so much quicker, and then it's just going to become a routing test from that point.
All right, looks like Poidrac found some Star Veils. I didn't see what town he just ran into, but he did find some Star Veils as well as some exits, not that he needs them, and cabins. That's a pretty good shop there in Tor.
Yeah, those are the things you want to see. Those Star Veils are so useful in so many different fights and so many different circumstances. And cabins, you start out with an assortment of tents with this particular flag set with that starting kit. Tents are okay, but you'll soon learn they have a lot of drawbacks. Tents will not resurrect dead characters, and they will only restore 100 MP. So the later you get into the game, the more you really want to find those cabins and start relying on those instead.
All right, and it looks like lordbobbree is going in. He's fighting his bombs right now to get that hook. Oh, unfortunately, Rydia's back up.
Yeah, getting Rydia up, I'm going to guess he's probably going to do what Poidrac did and try to get a blink up on Rydia to survive this volley of bomb attacks, get her the XP for this fight. And
there's that Sylph spell. It's in Kaipo. So Poidrac now has a Sylph on Rydia. That'll help out with some of the other overworld location.
Absolutely, especially since he's already had his Rydia survive a couple of fights, so she's managed to get enough XP to cast Sylph. One of the fun developer oversights about the Sylph spell is, despite it costing 20 MP, it never actually removes that MP from Rydia's pool when she casts the spell. So as long as you have enough MP to cast it, you can cast it to your heart's content. It does really solid damage and heals your entire party. Very, very good spell, especially in the early and middle game, that can really make Rydia shine. Though I did find out earlier in Rydia Seed, that's something that I never knew before. If the Sylph spell misses for some reason, like say you're up against Volvalis, it does cost MP. So something to keep in mind.
Well, I will keep that in the back of my head for the future next time I try that.
Yeah, make sure you do that. That'll block out some like actual useful knowledge from getting in there.
Exactly. All right, Poidrax now, he's in the Waterfall. He's got his Mylon.
Yeah, I expect to see a substantially quicker fight here from Poidrac since he's got that Sylph spell. Aiming at that Mylon 1 or 2 cast should be all it takes to get through this fight.
Right, yep, the Gas are doing their drains right now. And let's see where lordbobbree's heading now. Looks like he's going to West Hobbs. He's going to get his Jin spell. And there it is. Yeah, there's Jin, kills all the ghasts, and Mylon survived.
Yeah, I don't think Mylon shares the fire weakness that his underlings do, but yeah, fire is a great way to get through a lot of the enemies on Hobbs. If you're looking for a grind spot early, if you're just absolutely stuck in a hook seed and just have nothing to do, grab a couple bombs, go to Mount Hobbs, and just start chucking them at zombies, and you'll have a solid couple of levels to do with as you see fit.
All right, and lordbobbree's just going out doing some shopping. And Poidrac finishes up his Mylon fight to complete his Waterfall Cave objective.
Yep, that's going to put him on parity objective-wise with lordbobbree. And speaking of which, lordbobbree going into his Fabul defense, so he will soon be rewarded with a Darkness Crystal, and we'll see what he decides to do with it.
All right, and Poidrac going to get his hovercraft.
You might be seeing an Eblan Cave check here from Poidrac. Whether it's just going to be a character check, or if he wants to actually make the plunge, we'll see. I'm guessing it's probably just going to be a character check right now. I wouldn't want to commit to the entirety of Eblan Cave until I've at least checked the moon at this point. But
right, I'm the same way. I'm thinking it's just going to be a character check just to see who's down there, and then maybe do the dive after he goes to the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
And that looks like exactly what he's doing. He's got his hovercraft and he's going to Eblon.
Yeah, plus you also get the shop check here as well. Eblin Cave can have some very nice items in it. So always good to get that check as well. Not checking the treasure chest here, not interested in that Staleman fight. Just going straight for the shop and the character, it would seem.
Right, and there goes the antlion. Got Rydia up just in time so she gets a few levels.
Yeah, that's actually a bigger deal than it would seem. Those first few early levels for Rydia are really crucial, especially when you have one of her summons online that you're waiting for her to be able to cast. So very, very important to make sure she's live at the end of these fights.
Right. Yep. And Poidrac's just running past every single treasure chest in here. He's just going to do a character check.
Yeah, Poidrac is a man on a mission. He wants a new recruit in the party. I'm excited to see who it is. So let's waste no time. It's Sid.
Well, yes. There you go. So thinking, what does he do from here? Does he do the Ordeals move, or does he head up to the moon now and just check that other character?
Yeah, I would be inclined to check the other character at this point, just for a little more security on Ordeals. But honestly, with Sid added to the party, this party's pretty much set for Ordeals at this point. This party shouldn't have much problem with Ordeals unless there's an especially trolly boss waiting there. So I think either of those would be valid plays, honestly.
All right, and yep, there's the exit, and he is getting out of Eblon, and let's see where Poidrac heads to next.
Yeah, Sid is a much maligned character that I think doesn't get the respect he deserves. He can really carry an early game party. He's completely invaluable on these opening checks on the overworld. His usefulness starts to fade into the mid game and certainly into the late game when his agility just means he's not getting turns very often. His damage just really can't keep up with the rest of your bruisers. But that HP pool means that he's going to be surviving a lot of big attacks. He makes a fantastic chemist. And of course, you can always just slap a cursed ring on him and turn him into the perfect agility anchor going into the Zeromus fight.
Yeah, the health pool on Sid is a really, really good bonus. I've survived a number of fights because he just can take hit. And looks like Poidrac, he's raising the whale. Looks like he's going to the moon. And Lord Bobbree here is going after Edward.
So this will be interesting. I'm curious. Gonna jump. Okay. I was going to be curious if he was going to try to ride out Dark Knight Cecil's damage or just try to, because there's only 400 HP on this spot. Yeah, just going to blow through it. I think that's definitely the right play. And
that first wave hit pretty hard. And we got a Leviathan here as the second boss.
Yeah, could be a little scary. I'm not exactly sure what the magic attack power is looking like at this spot. I don't think it's very big. So those Ice 2s in the second phase shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, looks like Lord Bobbree's he's running through. He's gonna try to keep Rydia alive, even though this is a no XP spot. Ooh, those Ice 2s hit harder than I thought they would.
Yeah, never mind. I was wrong. Apparently, Karate Man is packing a higher magic attack than I think.
Right, and let's see who's hiding on the moon. Oh, that's an edge.
That's big. That is a welcome addition to this party, and definitely someone who's going to benefit a lot.
Yeah, I think we're going to be...
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think we're going to be seeing a D Machine grind here as soon as he goes to Ordeals.
I completely agree. Edge is someone who's really going to benefit a lot from getting all those levels and just really being able to pump that damage up.
And Lord Bobbree, he's still fighting that Leviathan. He's going for it.
Yeah, not giving up. It's about 4,000 HP at this spot, so it's a good bit to whittle through. But I admire the tenacity here. If you can actually get this will be pretty big, especially if there's something really nice in this key item spot here.
You know, Project Dia, I didn't see the Ether 2s, so I don't know if Poidrac did as well or not.
Yeah, that could be a determining factor into whether or not to do the D Machine grind, since obviously Tella's MP isn't great. And you need a way to get his MP back up so he can keep casting those weak spells for an extended grind. He does have access to the Psych spell, so he can slurp some MP out of a teammate if need be. It's not an ideal setup, but it'll work if you don't have a way to get MP up other than that.
Oh, and there it goes for Lord Bobbree. Leviathan finally came out ahead. Is he going to give another try? I think he's going to give another try, though.
Yeah, I think I saw him starting to use Star Veils toward the end of the last attempt on Leviathan. I think that's really the key. Get those Star Veils up, let Leviathan get those Ice 2s back on him, and then start maybe set up some blinks before you put the Star Veils on to avoid the physical attacks, but that may be a little too awkward. You might not be able to get them up in time before the Ice 2s start coming out.
Right, all right. Here goes take 2 against Leviathan. And Poidrac is going up Ordeals.
Oh, gate correction. Yeah, Leviathan does not do physical attacks. That's my mistake. I was thinking Ogopogo for some reason. So yeah,
I get them confused too. One hits harder than the other.
One is substantially scarier.
Yes, Jeebus, that's right. Yes, the other noodle. Right,
This is the lesser noodle.
This is going to be Elements or Rubicon up here on the top of Ordeals in the first boss spot. It's Rubicon. I didn't see Poidrac save, but I don't think this fight's going to be that difficult for him.
Yeah, I think he's... I can't imagine too much is going to give Poidrac pause at this point on Ordeals. This party's pretty stacked, honestly. So I wouldn't surprise me if he just forgoes any safety saves. That glare is going to hit hard, obviously, but glare always does.
Yep, glare's a glare. It's going to be every time.
You can count the times where glare doesn't instant kill much more quickly than you could the times it does. That's a Leviathan kill for Lord Bobbree. Awesome, I'm pushing through there. And that's a Baron key. That could be big. That is absolutely required.
It is. So maybe going after that Edward, I wasn't too sure about it, but that was absolutely the right play.
So I got to imagine that Bobbree is going to make a play on Baron next. He might be thinking about doing Ordeals first, but we'll see.
Also, just want to point out the obligatory, is this even randomized?
Has a randomization algorithm even been applied to this particular video game? Demist sighting! Let's go.
Well, it looks like the opportunity for a second key item out of Ordeals.
Yeah, Ordeals is a lot of time invested, and in traditional flag sets, there's a very little payoff for it, but in a flag set like the Fabul Gauntlet, where things are going to be extended so much, where there's always an opportunity for a boss hunt, and where you're more likely to pull a Holy Sword for Cecil, just a lot of value in Ordeals here, and we're sort of seeing it here, where you can get the 2 key items for the price of 1. That's going to be very nice for Poidrac.
It is. It's going to be really nice. Unfortunately, now he has to play the demist waiting game.
And here comes the Brine Shrimp for Lord Bobbree, going to head up to the moon and get himself an engineer.
Kudazler, that's an excellent question. And when the objective says get Cecil, do you just have to find him, or do you have to find and accept him? You actually just have to find him, and then decide if you don't want him, just get rid of him.
Yeah, and an important note there is you do have to find him. The 2 characters that you get at the beginning of the game do not count for finding as far as recruiting character objectives go. So if they were to have started with a Cecil, that means there's another Cecil out there that they do have to find in order to get credit for that objective.
Well, I haven't seen that one yet, but I now know that for the future.
Yeah, it's come up once or twice, and it's always important to know because it can throw some people through. You'll know it's the case because you won't get the objective popped up whenever you start the game in that case.
Okay, and here comes the key item that is actually on Ordeals, and it's the Legend Sword.
Not a bad find when you know that you have to recruit Cecil. That's 1/2 of the Excalibur, and that means if the Adamant pops up as well, you're going to have a very, very strong character for the Zeromus fight.
All right. It's Dark Elf's going to be the final boss here on Ordeals. Shouldn't be too much of a challenge at this point.
Yeah, very few instances where Dark Elf is particularly scary. Even if he shows up in a rather rough spot, one of the interesting things about Dark Elf is that his second form, that dragon form, doesn't have the boss bit, so you can actually hit him with things like Stop and significantly trivialize the fight.
And just notice with Lord Bobbree up on the moon at the Hummingway shop, that's where the Bacchus wines are located this evening.
Don't see anyone pulling a silver fire and buying 30 Bacchuses just yet, but
Not yet, but for all we know, we're still early. And Lord Bobbree is also he's getting Edge right now, who's hiding out in his moon cave. So, do you think Poidrac's going to check that Mist Dragon key item before he does a D Machine grind, or do you think he's just going to head straight to the Giant?
I would imagine he's going to make the check. It's a very quick check, and if it's something like a Magma Key, that might actually even change, how he wants to approach things. But so much for me. No, going right to the Giant. Not even interested.
He's not interested yet. With these objectives, I'm thinking he's probably not going to check it right away, unless he thinks for some reason the Earth Crystal is there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I like the fervor with which he's approaching the D Machine grind. Get it done quickly, get in there, get a powerful party, and then just eat the rest of the seed for breakfast.
That's a good point Jeebus in the chat brings up. He did check that Baron in character, and it's an Edward, so he may leave that for quite a while towards the end because, and he does need that Baron key.
Yeah, depending on how he chooses to route it, it could determine things. As long as he doesn't forget that Baron in check is there, I can't see him putting it off too long just because it's such a quick check to make. And you don't know who the second boss is, so that could be... Actually, no, we don't have a boss hunt to do. So yeah, the boss is inconsequential, but still a key item check. I mean, I wouldn't see it put off too long, but yeah, definitely wants to make it because it is required here.
And Hawk Laser points out that he may actually just be waiting to find the package before he goes to the Mist Village, because that would be the character check and the key item check all in. This way he does not have to double dip into the Mist.
Yeah. Mist is quick, so you don't usually worry too much about double dipping into Mist, but yeah, anytime you can make 2 checks for the price of 1 is definitely time saved, and that can often make the difference between a win and a loss. Yeah, very excellent question by Magius in chat. Do you finish the Giant after the grind? And that's always the big question there. I know we're probably going to at least check the boss and see there. I think there's a lot of value to be had in finishing the Giant because it is a character check there. We're still looking for Cecil. It's maybe a little less value than in a lot of these Fabul Gauntlet seeds because we're not hunting a particular boss. So, you're not getting that information out of the bosses there. But I wouldn't be surprised if after he's done this grind, Poidrac does go in and make a go at finishing the Giant.
He might. I think it's really going to just depend on what boss is in that element spot. If it's something that's going to be just too time-consuming right now, he may go back.
Invenerable with the most depressing math I've seen all day. Level 18 Rydia still requires 24 D machines worth of XP to reach Nuke.
Hey, maybe 23 if she's close to level 19.
You're right. We gotta look at the glass half full here.
And Poidrac is working on those beams right now, trying to get them down so we can actually see what this searcher has waiting.
Yeah, I saw him cut short moving into the second room. So I believe he's using the chart for the D Machine grind here instead of just looking randomly. So I think he's pretty sure he's got a D Machine fight here if he's actually fighting the beamers. But we'll find out shortly.
And I'm guessing Lord Bobbree checked a trap chest because it looks like he's gone back down the cave one more time.
Well, the good news is now he knows where the trap chest is, so he can know to skip that. And there's a potential. There's a lot of chests here in Evelyn Caves. There's potential for some really good items. So I don't fault him for wanting to check these chests and getting some good gear.
All right, the beamers are gone. Let's see what the searcher has. It's probably a D machine.
Yeah, it's still bated breath with the excitement here. Let's not kill the drama completely. It is.
It's a D machine.
Oh, it was a D machine. Good job, Poidrac. You did things correctly. But yeah, since this is such an early D machine grind, it is going to take a while not getting the benefit of that double XP. It was brought up, we're not exactly sure what level Rydia is. We've got that level 30 edge, so she might be in slingshot range. I'm not entirely certain. I don't know exactly what level 277 HP correlates to, but if she is, that would be big for Poidrac, because that would be substantially fewer D machines we have to go through to get Rydia online and nuke equipped.
Right, and as Groundflyer points out, apparently one of the chests in Cave Eblon did have a Soma drop. So Tella using Meteo.
It's always nice to be able to use Meteo on Tella without him killing himself.
And Lord Bobbree looks like he's told Edward that your services are no longer needed.
It's a rough day for the Bard. I like the unequipped Kane here punching the Searcher to get D machines out without doing a ton of damage to it. It's a nice strategy there.
Right. Well, it's probably smart. You really don't want to accidentally kill the Searcher at this point. You're still trying to. Oh, and Sid with the miss on the D machine. But it was before Tella got the week off, so
yeah. So everything worked out in the end. Now you don't have to eat the counter attack machine. So everything went better than expected. I do like Poidrac's use of Sylph here to do the damage to the D machine to finish it off and heal at the same time. It can often be tricky to keep your party alive from the fires you're just going to take the incidental damage from as you do the D machine grind. But Sylph is a really solid answer to that problem, because not only are you using that to do the damage to finish the machine off, but you're getting healing on the party as well. It means you're wasting fewer turns getting everybody healed back up. And you can go right into another D machine as soon as you're ready to set up hitting the alert.
Right, yeah, you just take your time. I honestly feel Sylph. I've discovered the value of Sylph doing seeds lately. That summon has been very undervalued over the year.
Yeah, Sylph is just fantastic. It has so much utility. It does a surprising amount of damage early in the game. And it really, and just the fact that it's glitched in such a way that you don't have to worry about MP on Rydia are all just fantastic properties that make me very, very happy anytime the stars align and I'm able to get an early Sylph and Rydia at the beginning of the game.
All right, and Lord Bobbree, he's fighting his Rubicon now. Get through his ordeal.
Interesting. Bobbree is intentionally killing Rydia off. Does not want her to get XP and is probably saving that slingshot for something later. He's probably thinking about that D machine grind as well and wants to keep Rydia at as low a level as possible so that she can use the fact that she's so much lower level than Edge to take advantage of the XP bonus low level characters get in free enterprise and really shoot her up to a very high level. That is a very heads up play by Lord Bobbree.
I wouldn't have even thought about that, to be quite honest. That's really smart.
Yeah, it's always great when you see these runners that have just such a commanding knowledge of this game and are able to, really plan for the long term here. He knows he's doing Ordeal because he wants to do that D machine grind. He knows he wants to do that D machine grind because he wants to get high level spells on Rydia, and he knows that the easiest way to do that is to hold off her getting XP until he's ready to do it all in one fell swoop. So yeah, big play there.
Poidrac, he's still working on his D machines as Lord Bobbree is fighting his Mistress.
Yeah, and while our runners are kind of just grinding and tracing each other's steps, I do want to give a huge shout out to our restream team tonight. Dathis doing the restream and Akir doing the tracking. We could not do these broadcasts without those crucial roles. So thanks so much for volunteering your time and coming out tonight to help us out. Make sure you give them a follow, folks.
All right, Mr. Dragon is gone. Let's see. Lord Bobby's going in. He's going to go fight his Wow, I even already forgot which boss is located inside, and he's going to get his legend sword.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember too. I'm a bad commentator.
It was the Dark Elf.
That's right. With somebody entirely inconsequential.
It was a free fight. Why would I remember it?
Precisely. So I'm kind of hoping Lord Bobbree routes in a check for the key item at Mama Rydia, because I really want to know what that Demas gives.
I know. I'm burning in anticipation for that one. But we'll see. He's probably he might actually go for the D machine grind since he's already set up for it with Rydia being at a lower level.
Yeah, it's definitely on his radar.
And I don't know if anybody in the chat's been counting, but I don't know how many D machines Poidrac has killed up to this point.
Believe me, the dragons are counting, and the dragons do not forget. Especially when one of their own kind betrays them like Poidrac is.
All right, and Lord Bobbree, he's coming down Ordeals now. I'm going to give it 75-25. He's going to head right to the Giant right now and join Poidrac in fighting D machines.
I believe in the miss check, just because I really want to see it. Missed.
Or is he doing Baron?
Or doing Baron. Interesting.
I didn't see this coming.
So there is a character that you can get in Baron. Obviously, we have to do Baron. It's one of the objectives. He might be thinking, if this is Cecil, I want to bring Cecil with me to the D Machine grind so that he's online and part of my final party. So that might be why he's routing this in here, is because he wants to make sure that the party he brings to the D Machine grind is the party that he wants to use for the rest. Speaking of which, Poidrac is done. Grabs an Hourglass 3 for his troubles, which is not a bad item to pick up there. And looks like just shy of level 50 on most of his characters. I didn't see where Rydia was at. His menuing is just too fast.
He's too good at menuing. Yeah, I couldn't check either. But yeah, also having the Legend Sword already, having, if Cecil happens to be in Baron, yeah, he's going to be setting himself up for his final party.
45, so shy of Nuke by about 10 levels, but still is going to be substantially more useful having access to Virus and Quake here.
And looks like he's taking his gear off of his, swapping out some gear from his Tela to his Rydia.
Yeah, Rydia has graduated to an actual spellcaster now, doesn't need to rely on throwing that dancing dagger. She's actually got a decent spell collection now.
Right, and Lord Bobbree, he's going to go and he's going to fight that first boss, and I don't remember who it is, but we'll find out here in about probably about 20 seconds.
Now, the other nice thing is it's not going to be enough to get Rydia up, but the element spot here that Poidrac is about to fight has a large amount of experience for beating it, so the levels aren't done yet. Oh my gosh, vanilla elements! Vanillaments!
And Project Dia pointing out that he wasted a cabin because, you know, you get the free heal.
Yeah, Rubicante, of course, the most honorable of the elements. Always good to remember that you'll get a free heal whenever you go into a Rubicante spot.
All right, and free boss in Baron Castle is the first boss, Water Hag.
Yeah, we knew that it was a blue robe from the get-go. We didn't know if that blue or the water hag. Looks like it's the water hag, and then we're going to be moving on to the throne here shortly. Big damage from that Fire 3 there. Not enough to get the transition skip here, as the element spot just has a tremendous amount of HP. So still going to have to fight out the whole thing. But yeah, Rydia doing really solid damage here.
Right, and we have, well, we swapped out one king for another king in Baron, with Bahamut sitting on the throne.
Now I've made this mistake too, so I'm saying this just as somebody who's been called out on this before. Bahamut is actually not the king; he is the father of the Eidolons. The king is Leviathan.
And I have learned something else again tonight. It's been an educational night for me here, watching some free Enterprise. Who knew you were going to learn?
Never forget, I called Bahamut the king of the Eidolons on commentary, and chat. Just every keyboard warrior in chat was like, "Actually."
And everybody in the chat's gonna be calling me out here in the next couple of seconds. Meanwhile, Mylon Z there is he's just cursing the party over there up in the dragon.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage for this elements fight, but the issue is those tier 3 elemental spells just have such a large casting time on it, so nothing about this is going to be quick.
Right, yeah. But he's trying to get through it. Oh, and there's Cecil. Cecil's in Baron.
Wow. Galaxy Brain play for lordbobbree. So now he's going to be able to bring Cecil to the D Machine Grind, turn him into a powerhouse. And wow, that is a huge payoff.
It is. I'm surprised at the getting rid of Rydia there, but I just don't see what else you can do, because you need Tella with the weak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Probably setting up for Quad Zerker strats in the end. He's got decent enough equipment that he can make Cecil useful there. So I don't hate that play at all. And just like that, we're an Earth Crystal away from go mode for lordbobbree.
Right, exactly. Yeah, if this pot down here contains the Earth Crystal, this is going to be over really quick. Oh, it's the Magma Key.
Well, there you go. No required hook seed. It's technically not a hook seed, folks.
And then, and pointing out, lordbobbree, he kept that Rydia at a low level for the D Machine Grind, but ended up getting rid of her in the Baron Castle because that's where Cecil was.
Yeah, I don't fault that decision one bit. In fact, yeah, it looks like he's putting off the D Machine Grind now. Now that he's got a party that's so reliant on its bruisers. Bruisers don't really need the levels the casters do, because they don't have those massive breakpoints you want to hit where they learn the important spells. So I actually like this play of transitioning away from the D Machine Grind, going into the Underworld, exploring, trying to find that Earth Crystal to put himself in go mode.
Right, and Poidrac's still there. He's still working on his elements there. Still on Mylon Z.
Yeah, this is really, really brutal for Poidrac. And now that we know where Cecil is, there's really not going to be any value from finishing the Giant. I don't think we've seen a duplicate character yet, so there is still a possibility that Cecil is also on the Giant, but it is a very, very scant possibility at this point.
Right, yeah, it's such a small chance. I mean, if it happens, then I don't know what I'll say. But
he did it. He got the skip using reflex strats to prevent the counterattack trigger to move on to the next boss, and the element is down. Excellent job there by Poidrac.
Right, and lordbobbree, he's heading back into Mysidia, and he's looking for a specific item, I think. I don't know what he's looking for. Just trying to
think, he might want to stock up on Starveils. Starveils Ether, something like that.
Possibly. Right, so he's got through the elements fight. Let's go see who's hanging out in the CPU spot.
And comment in chat, didn't know you could skip the element transitions. Yeah, it's very similar to the HP refill skip on Zeromus. Essentially, by using reflected spells, you're preventing any counterattacks from happen, and the trigger to move on to the next element is considered a counterattack. So if you're only hitting with reflected spells, that'll never trigger, and you'll never have to move on to the next part.
There you go. And it looks like Dr. Luge is hanging out in the CPU.
Yeah, shouldn't be too taxing here for Poidrac here. And then we get to roll a d12 and see if it comes up Cecil.
And looks like lordbobbree, don't know if it looks like he's going to be going to the giant here in just a second.
Yeah, fake this out by opening up the the magma key there. Boy, is it rare you get to see the full AI script for the first phase of Dr. Lugai, but it's enough HP here that we get to see it.
Yep, and looks like Balneb is down. There goes Dr. Luge, and we're going to move on to phase 2. All right, it looks like he's using some of those Bacchus wines. He's used one on Edge.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You know where they are. You know you've got a good amount of cash after that D Machine grind, so you can stock up on more. Might as well just take a few sips instead of having to rely on Tella passing out those berserks.
Right, and Self's going to be pretty good here, especially with all the poison damage that Dr. Luge does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, while Poidrac's fighting Dr. Luge, I just want to take a moment, go ahead and take the time to follow our runners tonight. I want to thank them for letting us watch them race tonight.
Yeah, this is our first ever 1v1 event for Free Enterprise. So it is an enormous amount of pressure. You know, usually these races are done with 4 or more runners. So, you know, even if you don't win, there's still value in taking second or third place. These are very white knuckle races. It is, you know, win or go home. So the runners being agreed to be restreamed here when all this pressure is on. It's really, really nice of them. No Cecil, just his bow here tonight.
Yep, and I'm wondering if he's going to end up keeping Rosa or he's going to just stick with that Tella, because now that he's done with that D Machine grind.
I might be tempted to pick up the Rosa at this point. Just so that you have some healing for the Zeromus fight. But let's see. Yep, there goes Tella.
Yep, Poidrac agrees with us.
Plus, even if you don't want the healing from Rosa, if you get decent enough gear, always the potential for a Quint Zerker, which I am always hoping for.
All right, and Poidrac's decided to downgrade airships now, trading in his new ride for his old ride.
Significantly faster than the brine shrimp, but way less cool.
And looks like he's gonna go get his Baron key.
Right, so this is going to put Poidrac on the correct path that he needs to actually finish this seed. So that's going to be very, very good news for Poidrac. It's all going to matter, you know, where this Earth Crystal is, because we still have no clue where it could be. We've got basically all of the underground completely untouched. We've got that Darkness Crystal giving access to the moon. That's completely untouched as well. So even though we're only one objective away from completing this race, there's still potentially a lot of race left to go.
Right, yep, and it looks like Poidrac he just smacked Dark Knight Cecil, and he's going to take care of Leviathan here.
Yeah, probably going to have a little bit of an easier time with Leviathan.
Probably just a little bit, yes.
Yeah, just slightly.
And he has his Baron key. I'm assuming he's just going to head right into the castle.
Lord Bobbree still looking for that D-Machine grind encounter. I think he might just be looking for it blind, which is, always a valid strategy if you're, you just kind of trying to feel it out here. You don't want to follow the established chart there, but can be a little frustrating if the encounter just does not pop up. This is a potential here. We'll get the beamers down and see what the alert gives us.
All right, so we have one beamer down so far. We're gonna go ahead and take a couple seconds, finish up the other one, and let's hope for a D machine.
Getting that big damage from Sid against machines. You'll love to see it.
Oh.
Nope, them's some horsemen. Not what we're looking for there. Yeah, this is one of the disadvantages of trying to do the D machine blind here. Is just not getting the encounter you're looking for can start to get very costly time-wise. Oh, it looks like he might be doing the step count now.
Possibly. As Poidrac is taking care of his water hag. All right, we got a searcher and two beamers here. Let's hope this one is the right fight for him.
Yeah, get cooked. It was a vanilla Baron key.
It's an excellent question, Dathis. If I was Poidrac, I would actually not go to you could go, but here you get the character check and the key item check if you take care of the king first.
Yeah, it's always tempting, especially when you're doing the Baron check later in the seed than you normally would when your characters that are higher level, to try to get everything all at once and get that Odin check in. I know I've tried to do it on several occasions, and most of them have bitten me in the butt as a result. Generally, I'm kind of the opinion that it's not worth it. It's not that much longer to go back into Baron Castle to make the check when you've got the benefit of a save to fall back on. But if you're on a particularly jetty seed and you know that it's going to be a few instants are going to be the difference between you and opponent, then it's absolutely a valid play.
Right. And Lord Bobbree has got beamers again, and let's hope he gets it.
And Poidrac apparently so overjoyed at finding Cecil that he has accidentally knocked the Ethernet cable out of his wall. Hopefully we'll get that reconnected and we'll see what's going on across the pond.
He just wanted us to skip the introduction.
It's a good thing we already know that Cecil is there, because if this was the first play into Baron Castle, I would be going crazy right now to find out the character.
I would as well. Be like, who did you get?
And excellent. Lord Bobbree has found the right encounter now, so now it's just a matter of settling in and getting your D-Machine grind rhythm on.
That is true. The one thing we didn't see was whether or not Poidrac kept the Cecil.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've got to imagine at this point Poidrac wouldn't, since he's already done his D-Machine grind here. I think he's pretty set on what characters he wants to take to the end. He's got a low-level Rosa to get up. I can't imagine he would also want to get a low-level Cecil, especially since we haven't seen any of those super high-tier items for Cecil yet. I don't believe we've seen an Excalibur. Certainly haven't seen a Crystal Sword. So that's kind of a little bit less incentive to try and grind up a Cecil fresh from level 1.
Right, and Dathis in the chat, he's keeping it a secret from us for now. And Poidrac using the magma key. I'm wondering if he's going to take the dive underground and just kind of start checking key item spots down there.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. At this point, there's just so much open there to look at. You got a lot of checks in the underground for items. I might even be tempted to make a cheeky play to the moon. And since you're already this high level, and start looking for the Earth Crystal there. Of course, I'm also not very good at this game, so cheeky plays sound better to me than they probably actually are. He still needs to actually use that Earth Crystal in the Troya Treasury, so we'd have to come back to Troya anyway. But he does have the pass, so there's really not too much advantage to trying to get your last objective of the moon like it would be in some other Fabul Gauntlet seeds. But this is probably the safer play in the long run, is just going into the underground.
Right, and having the Troya Treasury be the final objective he has to get, and then having the pass already, it's right there. He knows once he goes there, he's going to fight.
Yeah, this is really nice for both of our runners, knowing that as soon as they get the hand powerful, they just have to head to Troya, and the Devil's Passage to Zeromus is right there for them. So he did pick up Cecil after all, dumping Sid.
Interesting play there. He's going to get a few levels on Cecil here in the Dwarf Castle if he goes up and fights the boss, which I'm sure he's going to. He's already in the castle. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, Dwarf Castle actually gives a surprisingly high amount of XP in these boss fights. Of course, Cecil's going to get slingshotted because he's level 1 and the rest of his party's in the approaching 50. So it shouldn't be too long to get Cecil caught up here. So, yeah, not a bad play at all.
Nope, and we got an Octomom here for his first fight.
Not terribly frightening for Poidrac, but then again, after you've done a D-Machine, it's going to be terribly frightening.
Right. I think he's queuing up a Quake there with that Rydia to finish off this fight really quickly. And Jazix, no, that glitch is actually disabled in the Fabul Gauntlet tournament. You cannot just warp right back into the room. If you want to get that item, you do have to complete the sealed cave.
Yeah, the only glitch that is enabled, well, as Free Enterprise defines them as glitch, I think there are some people that would argue it's not actually a glitch so much as it is a development oversight. But that would be the life glitch. Can be used in the Fabul Gauntlet seeds. All other glitches, the 64 stair glitch, the item duplication glitch, and the warp glitch are disabled.
All right, and looks like the dolls were just late showing up to the party.
A little French vanilla Calcabrina here. They apparently got sick of their waltz and wanted to fight to a different tune. I can't see how anybody would get sick of dancing Calcabrina, but
yeah, I can't either. But with this Quake, this should be a pretty quick fight. And looking at lordbobbree there, he's probably gonna want to start healing some of those characters up. He got a dead Sid there, and some people hurting during his D-Machine grind.
Yeah, we're actually seeing the significant difference here between lordbobbree's approach and Poidrac's approach. Lordbobbree does not have that Rydia around the Sylph spell, so not able to take advantage of the healing that offers, and having to rely on Tella's healing instead, which can be, a little shaky. And I think that's probably putting it generous.
Probably just a little bit. I wonder if he's planning on trading out that Sid at some point after he completes this grind.
Possibly, or he could just be using him as a agility.
Oh, and I missed what item was there.
It was just a stack of Artemis arrows.
Okay.
Though, if he does want to go Quint Zerker strats with that Rosa, those Artemis arrows are excellent ammunition for her. I'm just a huge fan of Quint Zerker, so I want to keep the dream alive. I'm sorry.
Right. And Poidrac decided he wanted to go back to the mall as well. And he's going to go check. He's going to validate the seed.
You might have been checking that weapon shop for a good bow for a Rosa, because again, Quintzerker's strategy. Oh, samurai bow! That's possible for Quintzerker, right?
Yeah.
Please just validate me. Please just say we can Quintzerker. Lyricist is the dwarf. Some wonderful dwarven poetry and/or songs. Sirens, that's a good find.
All right, and I'm thinking after here, he may head into Feymarch. Got that key item check there, as well as possibility if you happen to have another free fight there, one more item as well.
Yeah, there is. Feymarch is kind of loaded for Poidrac right now. With his characters as high level as they are, even though there's typically some nasty fights inside the Feymarch, just because those slots have incredibly high agility, very very fast spots. He shouldn't have too much problem with the bosses here. So this is 3 potential key items, any one of which could be the Earth Crystal that he needs to finish the seed up.
Right, and Lord Bobbree, well, everybody hurting right now over there on the D machine grind. Gonna have to agree with girl named Captain. This is getting a little tense.
Yeah, when the only thing you have for target heal is Tella, things are definitely tense. It's not exactly the most heart-healthy D machine grind, but getting through it. The nice thing is after a D machine is down, you can take as many turns as you need to take a breather, get your facility in order, as it were, and then move on, because that alert will not do anything until provoked.
And Sand Ruby is in Feymarch, so but I don't think we're gonna be heading up there to check that character out.
I don't think so. I'm trying to even remember who it was even checked. Oh, it was Yang. That's right. Yeah, Yang is probably staying in bed. Yang is in all the beds this seed, it would seem.
Sometimes he just wants a night off.
Yeah, monking is tiring work. Or karateing, excuse me. This is Final Fantasy II.
All right, and it looks like Lord Bobbree's finishing up his grind, getting 688,000 experience points.
I like this play by Poidrac right now. Cecil's only level 24, so he's throwing a cursed ring on Cecil and using him as kind of a quasi-agility anchor here to help mitigate the incredibly fast speeds of the bosses in the Feymarch. So, since, you're not going to get a lot of damage value from Cecil right now, might as well use him as an anchor, rely on the rest of your team. Very heads-up play by Poidrac.
All right, now Lord Bobbree, and yep, he realized he's going back to the save.
Check out that Swolsel. 56 levels.
And there it is. There's a free fight right there in the Feymarch. You got King and Queen Eblon. You just got to survive those fires.
Yeah, Poidrac went in without healing everybody up. That's really the only threat here. Probably wants to get at least that Rosa up because she's behind in levels.
Right, and as well maybe get a few more levels on that Cecil there. And Lord Bobbree, he's not checking elements. He's just heading right on out.
Yeah, the only thing he came here for was level. The only thing he has left is to find that Earth Crystal. Not interested in what bosses are there. He's got the experience he needs. Now it's just a key item hunt. So yeah, don't blame him for just bailing and heading to what I presume is going to be the Underworld.
I'm wondering though if he's going to check the Mist Village first, just get that out of the way while he's on the Overworld.
Have either of our runners checked Mist yet?
I have not seen anybody go to the Mist Village yet, and they can. There is a key item check there.
Good. If Mrs. Rydia has been holding on to the Earth Crystal this whole time,
that's just going to change everything going on right now.
So yeah, we have really got a race here.
And, Lord Bobbree, he's going to Mist.
Hey, we just got a raid from Stop Skeletons from Fighting with a party of 61. Thank you very much. Welcome everybody to tonight's Fabul Gauntlet match for Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Randomizer. Hope you all enjoy. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. That's all a right. Twin harp. That is potential music, and that is always exciting.
Yep, that's a twin harp. I didn't see which spot he fought in the Feymarch. It was the Leviathan spot, and then it was a adamant in Mist.
That's big, since both of our runners have decided to take Cecil. That is an Excalibur, which means Cecil is going to be a powerhouse in the Zeromus fight. Really, really good news for Lord Bobbree. Probably not the news he wanted. Probably wanted to see that Earth Crystal so that he can finish the seed. But that X-Cal is going to be a mighty weapon in the Paladin's hands.
And CPU in the Asura spot, and it looks like self-strats on the CPU, making this fight almost completely free.
Yeah, CPU is never a particularly difficult fight. The only damage CPU is capable of doing is percentage-based. Those Mazers do 10% of your character's HP per turn, so it would take 10 turns without healing for the CPU to actually kill you. It's really just more of a slog. The main body of the CPU is in the back row, so if your main fighters aren't back row glitched, they'll have difficulty doing damage to it. It puts reflect up on itself, so your mages are having difficulty doing damage to it. But yeah, one of the great things about Rydia's summons is that they pierce reflect, so going to be able to take advantage of that self spell to not only heal the damage that the Mazers are doing, but also throw out some damage to CPU and make this fight a little bit less of a slog.
Right, and with the defender down, no more healing on the CPU, so it's gonna help bring it down just a little bit faster as well. And Lord Bobbree, he's in the Underworld now. He's doing some shopping, checking the item shop here.
Yeah, I'm curious if Bobbree is going to prioritize the Feymarch over Dwarf Castle here. Since he's only looking for key items, the Feymarch is going to be much richer in key items than Dwarf Castle, only getting 1 at a Dwarf Castle, whereas you have 3 potential key items in Feymarch. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes there first.
Right, because again, all he's looking for is that Earth Crystal. That's actually what they're both looking for, just hoping to find it soon. And Lord Bobbree, he did pick up his Excalibur, so now his Cecil's just going to be wrecking everything.
Yeah, it's very difficult to understate just how powerful Cecil is once you get one of those high-tier holy swords in his hands. Easily becomes the best melee fighter in the game, and can really, really help you when you throw a Berserk on him in the Zeromus fight. Just put out a massive amount of damage. And yep, this is going to be a Feymarch check for Lord Bobbree. If that's an Earth Crystal at CPU, then this is a race.
Yeah, then it's going to come right down to the Z fight.
Yeah, now it could also be Earth Crystal behind Twin Harp, which we did get off King Queen Eblin, sitting in the Leviathan spot. So that is also potential as well. Whether or not our runners decide to check that immediately after the Feymarch is, up to their routing decisions. But this is getting really, really spicy very quickly.
It is, or just for fun, it could be on the moon.
Yeah, this could all be for naught, and we do need to make a lunar excursion after all. It's a distinct possibility. There are so many checks to be made up there, and there's still so many, honestly, so many key items in the pool left unseen. This has actually been a relatively light key item seed so far, based on how far our runners have progressed in it.
Right, and like you're pointing out, it could also be on top of the tower, which you don't need the tower key for.
That's absolutely true. I'm a huge fan of the keyless tower play. Especially if there's a boss hunt you get to, and you didn't come in through the hook route, you get a little peek at who is actually on the Rubicante spot down the hook route. So you get a little bit of reconnaissance there. You get an excellent amount of XP in the mid game for beating the tower. A really good XP spot there. And it's typically not a terribly difficult spot either. You can also, if you're looking for gear, hit up the trap chests on the way up the tower. As long as you have enough damage to one-shot those searchers, you can get some really solid gear from there. And just a Bahamut from CPU, so not game-changing, but that Twin Harp might be.
Right. I'm wondering at this point if Poidrac, he's going to go for that Twin Harp, or he's going to do that keyless tower check real quick. I'm thinking the boss at the top tower shouldn't be too hard with the levels they have. It shouldn't be too long of a check. That'd probably be the play I'd make right.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me to see Poidrac go right over to the tower and make a quick check. And maybe even safe scum out if he doesn't get a particularly useful key item.
Oh, he's going to
Huh?
the Sylph Cave.
Well, he's making fools of both of us today, it would seem. Why do bosses when Sheila 1 is right there?
Yeah, just open. And, well, to be fair, that would reopen up all of his overworld key checks that key item checks that he does have left, except for Sheila 2.
Exactly, yeah. So now he can go up to the overworld, check Sheila 1, go over, check music as well. So he's got a nice little comfortable routing set up there by doing this. The nice thing about doing this, if he decides to go do music now, his party is going to be at low HP from having to walk through all of those damage tiles in the Sylph Cave. So it'll be very easy to off his party off and get the cutscene skip against Dark Elf in Cave Magnus. So that's also a good way to route that as well.
Yep, he is. He's going to do. Looks like he's going to do the Sheila 1 check first.
Yeah, much quicker check, and then if this ends up being Earth Crystal, no need to even go into Cave Magnus at all. So solid play.
Let's see what Sheila gives us to help wake up Yang. A package. And yep, he's just going to nope right out of that and reset and just forget he ever did that.
Yeah, it'd be a much different story if we'd done this earlier and we hadn't found Cecil yet. But since, no need to hunt a boss, no need to recruit a character, that package has no value for us whatsoever. And the hero of the people, Poidrac, is going to Cave Magnus. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting music tonight.
All right. Let's see. It's going to probably just run on in there, head down there, and hopefully we get some good music.
Yes, for those that are new to Free Enterprise, we randomize everything around here, even so. Normally, if you're familiar with Final Fantasy IV, there's a fun little cutscene here where Edward powers himself out of bed to play his harp and transmit his song into the Cave Magnus to help the party out. Normally, it's a very, very nice song that he plays, but hearing the same song over and over can get a little repetitive, so we randomize the song. There are a number of harp MIDI arrangements put into the game, and it picks a random one every time a seed is generated and plays them. A lot of them pull from other Final Fantasy titles, other RPGs, video games, pop culture. It's always fun to see what it is. And a lot of those all those arrangements now are being done by Comtastrophe. I hope I'm getting that name right. One of the community members. So definitely show them some love for the work they put in. But yeah, let's listen to the Bard's song. Calamity, right. Excuse me.
All right, and let's hope for some good music and a wyvern. All right, and it's a Hymn of the Faith from Final Fantasy X. Great track. And here he's going to fight a wall.
Make sure you give him praise to Yevon, yeah? I'm sorry, that was the worst walk-in impersonation.
It was only the worst because I didn't say anything.
Fun fact, I cosplayed as Waka in high school. The less we talk about that, the better. Very quickly done with the evil wall there, and let's see what is available here. Another Bahamut spell for Rydia. This seed just can't give away enough Bahamuts.
Come down to Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprises where you can get 2 Bahamuts for the price of 1. All right, he's gonna go get his rock. So at the risk of Poidrac making us look silly again, do you think he's gonna go back to the moon, or is it gonna be a keyless tower?
If I'm in Poidrac's shoes right here, I would feel very nervous going to the moon, knowing there was still at least one check left to be done on the Earth. In races where there are multiple opponents, in some of our traditional tournaments that we've done, those kind of risky, gambles can often pay off. But when you're playing a long game like this with these objective based, you're playing against just the one opponent. I don't feel like that would be a particularly profitable venture. I think he's going to do Tower and then go to the moon. No, he's going to do Odin because that's also a check.
Because it's something we didn't mention, so therefore he's going to do it.
So forget all of that analysis. We're doing Odin spot.
Come for the analysis, stay for the rudder doing something completely different.
We've got some expert analysis that is 100% wrong.
Here, let's see who's here. I believe those are Baron Inn guards.
I believe you're correct. Not a difficult fight at all. They do not have the boss bits, so any of the status effects that can eliminate, like the hourglasses that Poidrac is using right there to put stop status on them. And that is going to neutralize this fight. Just a matter of dealing enough damage to get through this. Odin has a decently high HP pool, but we're doing enough damage that it shouldn't take too long to get through all this, especially with Bridia casting Bahamut.
Right, so he's gone well down the XP there. And looks like Lord Bobbree's finished up his doll fight, and he's going to be getting that stack of Artemis arrow. All right, the key item there is a white robe.
I mean, Rose is going to like that. White robe is an excellent item for the Zeromus fight. But yeah, not the progression we're looking for. And now, unless there is another random check that Poidrac will pull out on us that I've completely forgotten about, I'm guessing he's going to go Tower and then go Moon.
I'm thinking the same thing at this point, so therefore he's going to the moon to prove us wrong.
Absolutely. Ooh, lightsaber there. That would have been fantastic, except that he has all the pieces he needs for Excalibur.
Right, yep. I'm thinking that's why he's going to go Tower. He's going to go down and get his Excalibur, then head into the tower. Looks like Lord Bobbree's going to beat him to the tower, heading upstairs right.
Yeah, so right now Lord Bobbree is a little bit behind Poidrac as far as just raw checks made. But this is a different routing decision than Poidrac made. If the top of tower, if Keyless Tower is the play, then all of a sudden Bobbree has gotten a little bit of an advantage on Poidrac. If it's not the play and ends up being the moon, Bobbree's probably going to still finish out the blue planet before going to the moon, which is going to give Poidrac a little bit of an advantage.
Right, as this is, yeah, it's all a race for the Earth Crystal at this point. All right, he's heading inside. He's gonna save real quick.
A little bit of a selling spree going on for Poidrac here.
Yep, and it looks like chat's taking some bets on what the key item's going to be here, and that's another red robe. So I'm thinking this is going to be the Dark Imp.
Yeah, that is another one of those fights that does not have the boss bit. So very, very easy to deal with. I did like Poidrac picking up some Protect Rings from the Kokol shop there. Very, very solid defensive accessory. Really, really good going into the Zeromus fight. So yeah, that's going to be super helpful.
Yep, we do have French Vanilla Dark Imps at the Keyless Tower at this point, and Poidrac is going to head upstairs right now and check them out.
Might get a little bit of a high five here from the runner here shortly. Yeah, we really haven't seen many great accessories this run. So yeah, those protect rings are an especially good find. Can't remember the last time I saw Zeus gauntlets in one of these seeds.
No, neither can I. And there goes Stone on the Dark Imps. They're gone.
A moment of
And
truth.
Man.
Ooh, now that's still potentially huge, because that gives you not only the Sylph key item, but also Sheila 2.
That's right, yeah. You check that Sheila 2. Hopefully get the Sylph item. I'm looking for the Luca key as being the next key item that he gets.
Yeah, just complete that that Underworld excursion here, and then Luca key's Tower key just to bring the loop together. High five on the bridge there.
All right. One's heading downstairs, the other's heading upstairs.
Also nice that they're both choosing to put Kane at the front of their party. So
Never a wrong decision.
Who's your favorite character to put at the front?
I played the vanilla game so much, I usually leave Cecil up there.
Yeah, I don't blame that. I really like Cecil's sprite, but I love putting Rydia up front just because when she's walking left, right, she's got that hair flip, and especially fond of that.
And chat right now going through probably the most evil of scenarios to come from getting that pan at the top of the tower.
Yeah, if you're ever concerned that a seed might not be trolly enough, you can always count on chat to find out the most terrible situations still available in your given seed. So big shout out to chat for that.
Yep, and secretly hoping for it as well. Actually, not so secretly. All right, let's smack Yang upside the head. And let's see what the Sylphs have. Ooh, a heroine robe.
Hey, Fries.
Yeah.
Do you know what a heroine robe means?
What's that? Do we got to go check Sheila too?
No, it means Quint Zerker's still on the table.
That is true. Get Rosa and get that.
I'm not giving up on it.
Rosa with the Artemis arrows to Z at the end.
We just need a good bow. There's a samurai bow Artemis arrow is a solid Berserker Rosa right there. That is one item tier away from the most perfect possible Zerker Rosa. Dr. Cossack, we had a Quint Zerker the other night. I can't remember who exactly it was, but it was a glorious thing. Yeah, I believe it was Neon Gray. That's correct. It was a glorious thing to behold.
And I'm hoping for a Luca key here on. And it's a rat tail.
Oh, well, anticipation's still there.
Anything to delay that trip to the moon.
Could we have potentially another truly haunted moon? Let's see what is hiding in the Adamant Grotto.
Yes, and Wyvern is still on the table. We have not found a Wyvern yet, so he is more than likely on the moon somewhere. See, I'm hoping for Rat Tail to Tower Key to Luca Key.
Just
all I'm a horrible person.
Yeah, that would leave the moon pretty much barren as far as key items goes.
Oh, and just a Stardust Rod.
Disappointing.
I think that means we're gonna have to go to the moon.
We are indeed, and now Lord Bobbree I don't think knows that yet because he hasn't made the check, and I believe there is one other. Yeah, he has also not done the Twin Heart, so his trip to the moon is going to be a little bit delayed. It's probably going to be Poidrac who's getting to the moon first, and then it's just going to be a matter of routing on the moon. Who's got the Earth Crystal and who actually gets there first. This is getting very, very exciting.
Right, and So chat, which I'm gonna think that the Earth crystals on one of the moon altars. Which one do you think it's gonna be on? I'm gonna say it's gonna be the white spear.
See, you're a fool because you are not betting value in Cave Bahamut.
I am not. No.
It's on a T-shirt. How could it be wrong if it's on a T-shirt?
All right, Poidrac finishing up. I believe he just got his rat tail.
So yeah, he's going to get his Stardust Rod, probably say some choice expletives under his breath, and then move on to the moon.
At this point, I'm wondering like, where did I park my hovercraft?
It's been a long time since we've needed that thing, hasn't it?
All right, and lordbobbree, yep, he's going to go check that twin harp.
Yeah, perfectly sensible play. We know it doesn't lead to anything, but yeah, you don't want to leave anything uncovered before heading to the moon, since that is such a commitment. But we will get a reprise of the Hymn of the Faith here shortly.
And Poidrac, he's heading to the moon. So since I said he's going to dive into the lunar subterrane, he's probably going to go check Cave Bahamut. Or is he checking? Did he not check the shop when he was up here earlier?
He might have, but he might have not had enough money to get. Or no, what was it that was for sale here? Oh, Bacchus's. No, definitely with as bruiser heavy as his party is, definitely want to stock up on those.
Yeah, he's going to be doing some Zerkin on the Z fight.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he's going to go down the subterrane first. I don't blame him for this one. It's got more than one spot to check. But I believe the bosses are harder or more difficult down in the lunar subterrane than they would be at the Cave Bahamut.
Yeah, at this point, as kitted out as his characters are and as high level as they are, boss difficulty isn't really going to be a factor here. It's just going to be speed of routing at this point. And since it's a key item that you're looking for and not a boss, I wouldn't be surprised to see Poidrac go bottom first. Hit that D Lunar spot where you get the 2 chests and the high concentration of other bosses there as well.
Right, as lordbobbree has he's beat his head against the wall and is going to move on here with unfortunately no value.
But some nice music.
Yes.
And resets out after completing his sending. Now that the spirits are at rest on the far plane, Bobbree will be finishing up probably with that Odin check.
Yep, and that will clear off the overworld for him, or not. Yep, okay, yep, he's doing his Odin check.
Now, was this a random encounter?
I didn't notice if he opened a chest or not, but I'll probably help get some levels up on that Rosa.
Yeah,
this
that makes sense.
A bad move here.
Yeah, not at all. I don't think this is a trap chest because I don't believe that formation trap chest. So pretty sure this is a random encounter. Doing the glory walk down, I guess, to get Rosa leveled up and some extra levels on that Cecil as well. Oh, it was a siren. Okay, my mistake.
Yes, okay, yep, that's right. Poidrac did pick up some sirens in the Underworld.
Yeah, Warlock Grind, one of the more unconventional. If you don't have access to the weak spell to quickly chew through King Ryu's, definitely available on the table there.
Oh, and Lord Bobbree going into the Baron Guards fight down there at the Odin spot without healing up and losing a couple characters there, but he got the Hourglass 2 off, so it should be trivial from this point.
Definitely. Now, Rydia has just learned Nuke, and this is sort of emblematic of why Rydia isn't the preferred Black Mage in the game. She's just at level 55 in Nuke. Look at her hit points right now. 1640 is well within the range to get gibbed by a well-rolled Big Bang. So even though you have to go the extra mile to get more Nuke on her, she still doesn't have the HP to be entirely comfortable in the Zeromus fight. So while she can be a fantastic character with the right summons throughout the game, the end fight really is not where she shines.
Right, yep, and all right, Poidrac done with that little bit of grinding, and he's going to keep heading downstairs, start checking some of those altars with some of the items around.
Yep, and Lord Bobbree is on the way to the moon as well. He's a little bit behind Poidrac, so it's really going to come down to how Bobbree decides he wants to approach the moon. If he takes a different path from Poidrac, and that ends up paying off, then he is in a really good position. If he starts following the same path Poidrac does, decides to go bottom up, he's going to be fighting from a disadvantage, being just a minute or two behind. So this is really, really important what he decides to do here.
So what you're saying is we have a race.
We have a race.
All right, Poidrac's hit that save point downstairs to check those 2 spots. Oh, and Lord Bobbree, he's checking Cave Bahamut first.
That's it. I want Bobbree to win. I know I'm supposed to remain neutral, but he's living the meme. He's living the meme life, and I'm all for it.
All right, in our first, we're checking the ribbon room. 2 checks for the price of 1. Let's see who's in this spot. Ooh, Baigan. Don't know exactly how hard this fight is at this point.
Yeah, Baigan is a very, very nasty fight, capable of putting a lot of damage out, and very difficult to deal damage to because of that reflect spell that he puts on his main part. Even if you take out the arms, they do come back over time. I don't think Poidrac is going to run into too much trouble here, but yeah, this is a particularly nasty fight if you're not prepared for it.
Yep, and looks like he's zerking up his heavy hitters there. And that's a Golbez at Bahamut.
I want this to pay off even more.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm not supposed to root either. I hope it pays off for him.
I'm sorry. This is your first time commentating. Bad habits. I'm a terrible. Yeah, really solid damage coming out from Poidrac's team against Baigan. This is kind of a way to get a little bit of a preview of the sort of damage you're going to be doing against Zeromus. It's shouldn't be too much trouble at all once he's finally into that final fight with the amount of damage this team's putting out.
Right, and looks like Shadow's over there. It's meal time. Looks like he's had a Tella, a Cecil, and an Ed. So let's see if Sid and Kane can pull this off. I believe he does have Star Veil, so he has a Star Veil.
Just to answer a question in chat, yes, Baka Shinobi, I can, because you're actually good at it.
All right, and Baigan is down, so let's see what our 2-for-1 check will give us.
Yeah, the other advantage to doing this is just the massive amount of experience from this spot, which is going to help get those last few levels on his remaining characters. Oh!
Ouch, that's an Excalibur. Well, I mean, it's a white spear. That's not the worst thing in the world for Kane, but oof.
Yeah, I mean, that's excellent for Kane. It's really going to be a nice damage boost for him, but that is not an Earth Crystal, and that is the most likely spot for it to be with the 2 checks. Still a lot of checks down here to go, but The value dream is still alive for Cave Bahamut.
And he's checking the vanilla white spear location. Let's see what boss we have here. Oh, it's the sisters.
Yeah, and this is a good spot to still have Rydia in your party. Bahamut is very short work of the Magus sisters here. Not only piercing that reflect spell, but also not splitting its damage amongst the three of them. The HP of this spot that Plague would normally have is split amongst the three of them, so that equals a very favorable outcome here. For
All right, there goes Golbez. Let's see if this pays off for him.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, no. Ooh, Dragoon Spear.
Not quite. So where is that Earth Crystal and or Luca Key?
I'm saying the Wyvern spot's got the Luca Key. The sealed case has the Tower Key. Tower Key has the Earth Crystal.
Yeah, so if lordbobbree decides to go top down, then he is still in this. If he decides to go bottom up, then Poidrac has an even more significant advantage right now.
And for his efforts, he receives a spoon.
Well, it's dartable. It is definitely dartable.
All right, he's gonna head downstairs. He's got that one more altar to check, just down on the next floor. Let's see what we got down there.
Yeah, we're slowly running out of spots to check, and there are still 2 major key items left to find. 3, I forgot about the Tower Key, excuse me.
Yes, and to answer Bakashnomi's question, yes, CPU was in the Asura spot, I believe. And we have found Mylon Z.
You know what makes short work of Mylon Z?
What would that be?
Excalibur Cecil.
Yes. Also, be fitting if this had the Earth Crystal, because the first boss that was fought way back at the beginning was, I believe, the vanilla was Mylon in the Waterfall Cave, and then Mylon Z has the Earth Crystal. Just a bookend.
Yeah, not to mention he is the Fiend of Earth, so it's layers upon layers. They rhyme.
Yeah, that Excalibur Cecil, he hits hard on Mylon Z.
Yes, he does. Full paladin power. I guess Bahamut also hits a lot hard, but we were kind of expecting that.
All right, and let's see what we get from here.
Bobbree's going top down.
All right. So, again, we still got a race if this isn't the Earth Crystal. Oh, it's the
Luca Key. Oh, dear.
My dream is still alive.
We might still have some game here. There is so much still on the table right now. This is nuts.
Oh, and then there's we got a free fight here with Karate.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind if you're newer to Free Enterprise is Yang, when you fight him as an enemy storyline trigger, after 2 rounds of his full AI script, if you hit him once with Cecil, and Cecil is a paladin, immediately ends the fight.
Oh, there's the Earth Crystal.
That's go mode for lordbobbree. He's got the pass. He tested it out. This is his race to lose now. That is incredible. He's been nipping at Poidrac's heels for this entire race, and then just with one different decision here on the moon, is now in a position to possibly take this.
All right, it looks like my visuals just went out for a couple seconds, so I won't be seeing anything for about the next 15 seconds or so.
No worries. We're getting a lot of airship swapping right now.
All right, I figured that's what was going on.
So yeah, no reason to mess around with anything else. I say that, and then he goes to the Silvera.
So we're looking for something specific in the item shop here.
Might be Star Veils, actually. Nope, wants those Cure 3s. Okay, yeah. Understandable. Very, very nice to have in your inventory. Fights, anybody can get nearly full recovery on any party member. So yeah, very good safety strat here. 35 might be a little much.
Right, just a little bit. Now I just want to know what Poidrac's going to get here from. I believe he's at the Wyvern spot.
Yeah, the other thing I'd be concerned about for Lord Bobbree is he only has 4 Bacchuses. I might want to get a few more before going into the Z fight if I'm running 4 melee characters here.
Yeah, since he didn't keep that Rosa, his Tella is that healer he has, so this is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Sid gets used as a chemist here, throwing those Cure 3s out just to supplement whatever Tella does until Tella inevitably dies to a big bang.
All right, yep, go ahead and save. Wait, no, don't go there yet. You have to complete the objective.
Well, at least he's going to find out very shortly. Oh, yep, that's right. Still have something I need to do. And like I said, there is an enormous amount of pressure on the runners here with these one-on-one matches. So that is absolutely nerves right there. Don't blame him at all. I would have done the same thing and gone right in there without realizing, oh, yeah, I actually haven't. I needed the Earth Crystal, but I need to actually turn the Earth Crystal in.
Right. He's probably thinking, like, I'm about to go fight Z. We've been going for an hour and 45 minutes. I have no clue where my opponent is.
Precisely. Yeah, that's the thing that's nipping at you. Like, when you're ready to go into it and you have not seen that dot done from your opponent, that's when, you know, the palms start getting sweaty and you start making those little mental mistakes.
Right. And yeah, Poidrac, he exited out of the Lunar subterrane now. Is he? Okay, maybe he's going back down in there. He's going to go ahead and check that last place he has to check that has that Earth Crystal.
Yeah, just a lot easier to just exit out and go back in. Given a little bit of a scare thing, check the tower and the Luca key. But no, he is doing the right thing here. And he is still on pace here. It's really going to come down to how Lord Bobbree handles this Z fight. If he executes well and does it cleanly, this is his race. If he so much as wipes once, all of a sudden Poidrac is back in this. So all eyes glued to Lord Bobbree's screen here. This is an incredibly crucial fight.
Yep, and Lord Bobbree, he's heading up to Z right now, which I just have one question to ask right now.
And what would that question be?
Whose butt are we kicking tonight?
Feels good to ask that, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
For those new to Free Enterprise, we do not randomize anything actual fight with Zeromus, as it is a perfect capstone to the end of any given seed. What we do instead for fun is randomize the sprite. The community's own Scala Kitty has done a wonderful job exporting and creating sprites from all sorts of other video games and other pop culture references to replace Zeromus with. So it is always fun to see exactly who you're fighting.
Right, and just right there, Poidrac has his Earth Crystal. So again, it's Lord Bobbree's race right now. Let's see how it goes for him. And here comes that crystal check.
That is Emperor Palamisia from Final Fantasy II, I'm pretty sure.
I think that's who it is too. So Empermus.
Yeah. Little the actual Final Fantasy, not this game, which ended at Final Fantasy II.
So that this would be a French vanilla.
This is a French vanilla Emperor. Excellent.
And that was a fast big bang out of the gate.
Whew, yeah. You don't like to see that. Tella does survive it because it was nerfed, so he's going to be able to throw out a little of his Cure 4s. They don't exactly pack as much punch as you would maybe hope that they do, but they're going to serve him at least until the next big bang comes out and wipes him out. Here comes the wine party. We're going to be sipping up those Bacchuses and letting the Berserk take over. The reason Berserk is such a nice strategy, especially for this fight, is not only are you doubling the damage that your melee characters do, but due to the jankiness of Final Fantasy IV's ATB engine, you can also like sort of jam up the ATB queue, as it were. And it eventually, what it ultimately needs is that the Zeromus is going to get fewer turns than he normally would, since the game is sort of prioritizing your characters as their ATB comes around, and it's automatically put in with that Berserk status. So it's you get a lot of benefit for using as many Berserkers as possible here.
Wow, you know what? This has been a very educational night for me. That is something I did not know.
Yeah, there is a lot of black magic surrounding how the ATV system in this works here. It was basically programmed with duct tape and prayers. Simbu, one of the community members, has done an enormous amount of research into figuring out just how much agility manipulation and agility works on the Z-Fight. So if you ever want to learn more, some of his resources are really good to look at. But it is it's some pretty advanced stuff.
Right, and Poidrac is starting his Z-Fight.
Yeah, there goes Edge, but I think the rest of the party is a little to do anything about it right now. Still has some very good damage going out. This is going to be very close. The damage is good, but does he have enough to get him through and preempt any more of those big bangs?
Right, because he's got to have another one here, and with that outbeat nerf, I think he's probably going to lose that cane.
Yeah, if another big bang comes out, Kane is definitely going down. Cecil and Sid could possibly survive.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's a big roll.
That is no. That is a big bang. Oh, no!
Can he dodge it? Can he dodge it? No.
Oh no! Oh.
He was so close. Oh gosh, you do not want to see it end like that. Oh, he had everything set up. Everything was looking so good, but just not quite enough damage to get into Medio before that big bang. Oh.
Oh, and Poidrac's going through his fight. I can't see if he's doing the Quinzerker strats.
Well, he still has that Rydia, so
he's gonna.
I think he's gonna do more traditional hybrid strats here.
Well, when you have a vanilla party, vanilla strats.
Absolutely. And some of the vanilla, a lot of the vanilla sprite palettes too. So very, very vanilla this seed. See, that's going to put Poidrac at a significant advantage here. Lord getting back in. You know, if he could still manage to get back in here, if Poidrac stumbles as another wipe, he's right back in this. But just the momentum swing right there.
Yeah. Yeah, Poidrac, he controls his own destiny at this point.
Yeah, this might be one of the closest races we've seen so far in the Gauntlet. This is a real nail biter.
All right, lordbobbree, he's using his crystal again, getting his Emperor Empermus. And I think that his Rydia is going to get that nuke off before the next big bang, so that should nerf it. Or not, she's still using reflect strats there.
Yeah, just doing the reflect. It's just the safer thing to do. The timing is very, very tight, trying to nerf anything past the first big bang. So, if you've got a solid healer in Rosa, and you've got the HP totals to be able to survive the big bang relatively reliably, usually it's worth it to just, keep your strategy going, eat the full damage of the Big Bang, rather than missing your timing and then throwing a nuke out, getting the counter nuke, and then also having to deal with a unnerfed Big Bang. It can really, really put a dent in your momentum.
Right. And we got a Kane and a Iridia down there on Poidrac, and Edge is hurting a little bit.
Yeah, but that is it.
Yep,
Was at
that
the
is
end.
it.
Did
Yep.
not care too much. GG to Poidrac. He has won this one with an official SRL time of 152.10. And I believe we're joined by Poidrac right here. Poidrac, GG.
Yeah, I was. Well, thanks to the delay, I was watching the end of that, and I am wondering how I won that race.
It was back and forth there at the end. You and lordbobbree had very, very similar path routing going through most of the race. lordbobbree was maybe just a little bit behind you most of the time, but he decided to go top down on the moon, and you went bottom up, and that meant he got the Earth Crystal first and was first in the Z fight. He took an unfortunate wipe to Meteo, and that was what gave you the lead there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I saw. Yes, I'm not surprised that we took a similar route. Strangely enough, I did a little bit of research on his last race, and this seed sort of lined up almost exactly the same way. So basically what I did was I went the same route that he did the last one, because I knew he would do the same thing this one, and relied on my speed to be a bit quicker than him.
Interesting. Doing the research there. So it looks like it helped out here. Do you think that that's a really strong strategy, sort of doing that kind of research in these 1v1 environments?
Sometimes, yes. In this case, yeah, most definitely. I wasn't too sure on lordbobbree's strategies and things, so I wanted just to see what he was about. Now, I've never faced him in a race before, so I just wanted to check, and I saw a sort of pattern there. And when this came out, Darkness Crystal, and Hook, and very early on, it clicked that he was going to go to Giant. He was going to go and do a D machine grind. I know I'm a little bit quicker in the speed for him. I can do it that little bit quicker. Let's go and do it first, and then go round.
Yeah, and that was very interesting because you took Iridia and lordbobbree didn't. And I think that ended up making it so that your D machine grind went a little bit quicker, since you were able to use that Sylph healing. So that ended up being like one of the main parts that you got a lead there.
Yeah, having that teller early also sort of said you really want to get at these levels early. Then Rosa came along, and I thought, well, teller's job is done. I've got plenty of seed left. I'm likely going to be going into the underground anyway. There's going to be sirens probably, and I can get the rest of my grind there for getting Rosa up. Cecil, if I get him early enough, he can have some levels as well. And it was just trying to find that Earth Crystal, and there's, unfortunately for me, it was a little bit later, and I'm going to say this, I was lucky. I was just lucky I got that win.
Well, better lucky than good, right?
I'd rather be good. Because
well, it's a randomizer. Luck is just as important as skill sometimes.
Sure. I was sort of expecting 3 wins from this, from the first 5 weeks. I was not expecting them in the first 3 weeks. So I'm at a loss on how I'm going to go forward here. Because I've been looking at, lots of people know I've been sort of trying to get at these restreams going, and I've been looking at the people who have been winning those races who are currently 3-0, and the potential 3-0s. I'm actually petrified on who I'm going to fight next in this.
Yeah, so yeah, 3-0 is an incredibly comfortable position to be on, just with where the cutoff points and everything are in this tournament. But yeah, you are going into some incredibly stiff competition. What is sort of your plan going forward to prepare for next week?
Absolutely nothing.
That's what I like to hear.
I'm not joking either. I have not practiced at all for this tournament for one simple reason. I don't want to get myself into a mindset. 5 objectives. They change from seed to seed. Don't get yourself in the mindset that you're going to have the same things over and over. You're not. You're not going to have the same team. You're not going to have the same objectives. Your routing is going to be different depending on what those characters are. There's plenty of ways you can start up a seed. I'm not getting myself into any sort of theme. I'll watch a few of the other racers doing their stream, but I will not be doing anything for myself. I will just focus on the race when I get to it and play the seed for what it is.
That's great advice there, Poidrac. Yep, every run's different. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and I think your mechanical skill at least is in a place where you can kind of rest on that a bit. You're definitely one of the elite runners of this game, so thanks so much for you are. Don't you dare laugh at that. You are a fantastic runner. You're 3-0. You deserve to be where you're at. Accept the compliment.
I'll accept the compliment. Doesn't mean I'm not going to laugh at it and not believe it for even one bit in my mind. But I know that there are a few people out there, one especially, who is going to slap me for laughing at myself. So I'm expecting to speak to them in a little bit and get a clip round the ear.
Well, at least for now, enjoy. You've absolutely earned this position here, so go into the next week with your head held high. And thanks so much for being restreamed tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure watching you run.
No worries. I'll see everyone soon. And Invenerable, please don't go hard on me. Go easy on me, please. I'm almost assured I'm going to get you next. See you soon.
I'm looking forward to that match if that's the case. That was Poidrac, everybody. He advances to 3-0 in the Gauntlet with the victory here today.
All right, looks like lordbobbree has completed with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 32 seconds.
Hello. She's looking really close there.
Oh my goodness, it was it was one of the most heartbreaking things I think we've seen this tournament. But man, what a close race! What were kind of your thoughts going in there, like knowing like you're about to hit medio phase, there hasn't been a dot done, and everyone's zerked, there's nothing you can do. Just kind of talk us through what you were thinking.
At that point, I had my fingers crossed and was really hoping my berserkers would just get the job done. I was like, Cecil was there nearly dead, and I was really hoping that Meteor would miss there, but nope.
Yeah, it was there, but for a flip of a coin goes the seed. But yeah, this was just incredibly solid play throughout the entire thing. You and Poidrac were neck and neck. The ultimate deciding factor was that you decided to go top down on the moon, gave you the early Earth Crystal, gave you the first crack at Zeromus. What were sort of your thoughts and how you decided to route this, when you decided to do that D-Machine grind? So just kind of walk us through your thought process there.
Well, as soon as I got the Dark Crystal, I figured that D-Machine grind was going to happen, unless like I got really early Sirens. But up until I actually did it, I was kind of trying to build my party, hoping I would find Cecil before then, and hopefully good weapons. And yeah.
So
really
what? Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I was hoping that going top down would be the play this time. I was figured that he might have been going bottom up that time. So
yeah, that's something I wanted to ask. Was the decision to go top down? Were you feeling like you were behind at that point and you wanted to try to do something different, or was it just a spur of the moment? This is what I'm going to do, sort of thing.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling behind and hoping that would be that would help me get ahead.
Awesome. Well, did you have any other thoughts about the seed? This was such an incredibly close race. I'd have to look at the times, but I think this might have been the closest finish that we've had so far.
I was feeling it was going to be really fast until it came to finding the Earth crystal there.
Yeah, that was just the elusive. It's rare that you see a key item be the sticking point in these seeds. Usually it's a boss hunt, but none of those tonight.
Yeah, at least there wasn't anything too much of a wall this time.
Yeah. Well, that's going to put you at 2-1. You're still in a very, very position here for the tournament. Still have plenty of races left to go. How are you feeling about next week? And do you plan to make any adjustments or changes going in, or are you just going to sort of let it ride what you've been doing?
I'm gonna try to get more used to have better planning for routing. I feel like try to work on little optimizations with menuing and stuff, and try to have a better idea of what I'm dealing with boss stats for this.
Right, absolutely. Well, great. Well, thanks so much for being restreamed for us, playing you on the big screen here. It's an absolute pleasure watching you race. This is definitely entertaining races of the tournament so far. So thank you so much for that. Best of luck next week, and have yourself a wonderful night.
Thank you.
And again, thanks for joining us. It was a great race.
It was. Thank you. Good night.
And that was lordbobbree, going to be advancing to week 4 with a 2-1 record. And that's going to do it for us tonight, but don't think that's the end of Free Enterprise this evening, not by a long shot. We have got another Fabul Gauntlet race already in progress over on the Free Enterprise channel, and we're going to be sending you over there shortly. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to Fries123, my co-commentator tonight. First time in the booth tonight. How did you feel tonight?
Just trying to get my feet wet. It's a new experience for me. I enjoyed it. It's great that we had such a great race to commentate with so many twists and turns throughout it, especially there at the end when we're all just rooting for that Cecil to stay up and just couldn't do it. But it was great. It was great having you with me here in the booth. And that's right. You've chosen a high-value channel for spot to watch Free Enterprise tonight, because we're going to be heading on over to the Free Enterprise channel where there's another race currently going on. Yeah,
absolutely. So for our restream team here tonight, Dathis on the restream, Akir on the tracking, and my co-commentator Fries123. I want to say thank you so much. My name is Smatey, and enjoy more Free Enterprise over on Free Enterprise.